Do you see now the difference in our power?
This guy Nova's doing great work. I wonder if someone like this will have a real impact on the game, right? Because you can look at the discussions that I'm having, the Moonsault Slayer, you could be like, oh, that's negative. This is what people is talking about when they say players are hurting their game. But this guy's coming at it a whole different way. He's talking about the same problems, but he's really showing actual gameplay examples, but then two, it's like an analytical breakdown.
The most critical issue of Tekken 8, that is, sabotaged backwards movement, the incapacity to create essential whiffs, to be able to disengage from your opponent and play on...
You said, isn't this the guy Fighting Gym reacted to and said, get good at the game because backdashing isn't the only way to play defense? I kind of like that idea as well. Look, obviously, I don't know what Fighting Gym said. I think these two had some beef because of that or something. I don't know. I do think that Korean backdashing isn't the only way to play Tekken. And I think a lot of Tekken players need to understand that. They need to grasp that concept. People call me trash literally because I don't want to backdash. There is other ways to play defense. And I am aware that Tekken 8 is trying to get players to play those other types of defense. They want you to sidestep, they want you to crouch, they want you crush and stuff like that. But the thing is that the penalty for not doing those things is too harsh. If you don't hop knee, if you don't sidestep, if you don't do this, you die. I like that they're encouraging players to do other things besides just back up the whole match, but the penalty for not doing that is too high.
When you try to explain to the masses that Tekken 8 is deeply flawed and not a legitimate Tekken experience as it currently stands, you'll often be faced with bullshit like this and this. According to these people, the fact that you can't move backwards properly to create whiffs in Tekken 8 is supposedly, quote-unquote, compensated by a much better lateral movement than Tekken 7. But is it?
No. Tekken 7 had better movement. I don't care what people say. The tracking being buffed in Tekken 8 offsets the sidestep being buffed. So when you talk about movement and which one is better, it's 7. In Tekken 7, I was able to spin out of so many things. In Tekken 8, the characters will literally float on the ground as they're following me. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. See? Come on, bro. In Tekken 8, you get realigned. Where's the better movement? Where's the buff sidestepping? Come on, bro. No hurt box expansion. No weird realignments. That's real Tekken. Tekken 8, get realigned. Get tracked. Get counter hit, get heat activated. They do this to decrease the skill gap. They want the players to be able to hit you. They want the players to be able to keep you in place without working for it. In Tekken 7, you used to have to work to keep the players from moving. And I hate when people say, oh, now, well, you got to sidewalk. It is greater movement. You just have to sidewalk. Like, you idiot, I will sidewalk you upside your head. No goalpost moving. No goalpost moving. Sidestep is how you beat attacks. Sidewalk was the exception. We're not going to do sidestepping as the exception and now sidewalking is the default. No. I like Nova videos, but bro be getting me turned up. Nova's videos be getting me turned up, bro. Oh my God. Oh, I mean, the reason why though is because bro is highlighting the real problems with Tekken. Bro is showcasing, like, this is a very long segment of bro showcasing the real problems that's going on, right? This ain't heat. This ain't installs. This is core built-in garbage philosophy, right? And this is why I don't even really talk about heat being a problem anymore, because I mean, this is the true problem with this game is how they don't want you to move at all. You don't move. I don't know. I don't want to blame these guys and say they did this on purpose, but if this was a mistake, wow. Because something that I try to highlight is they switched from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. They made a lot of changes. They had not a lot of new developers working on the game, and they didn't know what they were doing, right? Coming from DOA, Soul Calibur, Virtual Fighter, coming from all these different fighting games, they're probably not understanding the hitboxes and this and that. It could have been a mistake, but the longer it stays in the game, the more intentional it looks and the more upset I'm gonna get. I mean, even think about it for someone who is new to the game, right? Someone who's new to the game and they're really trying to like go through arcade quests, they're learning about these mechanics, and then they go into a real match, and now the things they learned in arcade quests are not transitioning to the real match. They can't move, they can't interrupt, they can't do any of these things. Arcade quests lied to them. Right? So you talk about the mixed messaging there, where Tekken gives the players all of these tools on how to respond, but then when you are trying to use that information and apply it to other situations, no. I kind of feel like they don't like their own history. Michael Murray talks trash about older Tekken characters. Harada talks trash about legacy game modes, legacy games itself. He says they look terrible, they age horribly, no one wants to play them. The only reason people request them is nostalgia. Even with the gameplay of Tekken 8, they tried so hard to remove what Tekken is. Infinite stages gone. Tekken started off with all infinites. Sidestep, let's decrease that as much as possible. It's weird to see the developers be anti-Tekken. Am I the only one who's starting to realize that? You guys know, I tear Tag 2 to shreds. I talk trash about 4. There's things sometimes that I'll find that's wrong with 5 and 1 and 2. Like, there's times when we do go in on those games for the things they did wrong. But to sit here and act like they didn't build the structures, the foundation. This ain't 30 years of Tekken 8. This is 30 years of Tekken. And for the 2025 version of Harada to be saying Tekken 5 looks ugly, that game aged terribly, no one wants it, it's just nostalgia. For Michael Murray to call the characters of those eras like bad and they say they look poorly designed, I don't know, man. I don't know. It would be one thing if it's a player saying it, right? Like, I had a lot of fun in Tag 2. Now I think about Tag 2 and it's not that good. I start to understand the real problems of it, right? But that's from the player perspective. Someone who was a scrub, who's gotten better, who is reflecting on their journey. But from a developer perspective, from you building these games with your own hands, releasing them to the public, building upon them, Tekken 5 DR, for you to reflect on your own creations and say you're not good enough, that's wild. I'm just noticing that out of the developers is that they're constantly talking trash about the older Tekken games. And then with Tekken 8, they're trying to scrub the identities of the game away. Anna, identity removed. Heihachi, who is the foundation of Tekken, identity removed. Eddie, one of the most iconic Tekken characters ever, identity removed. I don't know. Yes, you got to evolve and adapt with the times. You got to keep going forward. But at the same time, you still have to retain your identity. Some of the most controversial Call of Duties ever is when they lose the core of their identity or their monetization is terrible. I hope that me seeing the developers say all these things about these past Tekkens is just a coincidence. Because if they really are starting to turn their back on older Tekkens, we truly are lost.
Instead of +3, how about +5? In traditional Tekken, even a micro step should suffice to evade her Magic 4. So that covers Magic 4. It is not supposed to track to begin with. She should have been launched there. Instead, she tracked me because modern Tekken. But now we proceed to full
They do these things to decrease the skill gap. In a good way, Tekken 8 allows players to defeat higher ranked players with powerful moves. That's what he's talking about right now. He's talking about Big Tekken, that's the powerful move that Jun Kazama does, and how you can't step it when you're +4. In past Tekkens, you were able to step it. But young players and those currently playing, it boosts their motivation. They can overthrow higher ranked opponents. They think it's a good system because the player who has all the skill, who has all the knowledge, who usually would step around all of this stuff, now you can't do that. But the guy who doesn't know about all of these things and all of these restrictions is having fun. You know, we see these tweets from the developers or these interviews where they say, I regret this, I regret that. Oh, the Tekken players like more of a traditional Tekken. Harada says he agrees, and he does too. It doesn't matter if you agree, Harada, put it in the games in. You can't go to IG and be like, oh yeah, I agree with the players, and then nothing. They're saying stuff, but we're not seeing the action.
Cover Tekken 8 June F2 1+2. What is June F2 1+2? Tekken 8 June F2 1+2. It is a devastating, ultra evasive mid-hit engager that casually evades mids. Let's showcase another design philosophy failure. You have the infamous Waifu slide.
Oh yeah, I hate tracking slides. Yeah, I hate tracking slides. You know I hate this, right?
Man, what is this?
They just track you, bro. You try to move at long range and like you get hit.
The exception of Clive's slide. Every single one of the Waifu slides is a counter hit launcher.
This is why these female characters are so carried. I know Tekken players are sexist, right? And the female characters get a way worse rap, and I don't think it's right. But also, all these female characters having these sliding tracking launchers doesn't help the problem.
Oh, but they're launch punishable. Well, it's not that simple because the Waifu slides have multiple active frames and therefore a variable frame situation on block and on hit, meaning the Waifu slides become safer and safer and safer as they go on. Waifu slides are the Tekken equivalent to the Castlevania Crisagrim. A massive hitbox in front of you with multiple active frames.
Oh my god. Is it an anime, a Lily main, or whatever man is going to clip it and put it on Twitter and call you a scrub? This is a great video. You see, this is why I don't be watching these videos, because these videos be getting me too turned up, bro. Every time I watch a Nova video, bro, I get turned up.